A delightful day to everyone, especially to our teacher Man, Karen Patria. We are the group Perspicacious from grade 11 Capricorn, and my name is Kristen Jade A. Balongket.
I am Jarko A. Kabog.
I am Shanugo Ibardo Gabutan.
Gabriel L. Kalungad.
I'm Mia Yunar. I am Myla Milargo.
And welcome to our title defense entitled as The Impact of Social Media Platforms on the Behavior of the Students. To begin with, social media platform is a website and an app to speak with others casually, locate individuals, and share common interests. Users can connect with one another through groups, networks, and location. And now let us go to our topics, which is the independent variable and the dependent variable, to be discussed by Miss Myla Larco.
Thank you, Ms. Balongkit. To begin, let me introduce our choosing topic. The independent variable is the impact of social media platforms and has revealed that it has a negative and positive output depends on the usage. The positive impact revealed that using social media boosts the pupil's self-confidence during difficult moments. Because social media is such a new technology, little research has been done to determine the long-term effect, good or ill, of its use. The dependent variable is the behavior of the students. We want to know what is their knowledge about the impact of social media platforms, as well as the exposure that they may have experienced. Now, let us proceed to our main question and supporting questions to be discussed by Mr. Charku Kabug.
Thank you, Ms. Myla Largo. Now let us proceed to the statement of the problem, the impact of social media platforms on the behavior of the students. And according to C. Delavigna and Gensco 2010, social media platforms also influence in delivering pertinent information that has the potential to modify their beliefs. Second, it can influence people's behavior directly, regardless of their knowledge, through persuasion. And it was discovered that most students' psychosocial behavior is influenced by social media use and that they get addictive psychologically as a result of spending most of their time on the internet networking, resulting in less attention being provided to the other activities and the elements of their lives. Our main research question is to be answered: how does the use of social media platforms influence students' behavior? We choose this as our main question because we want to know how social media platforms influence the behavior of the students, whether it may have a negative or positive impact. Now let us go to the supporting questions to be discussed by Ms. Mia Leonar.
Thank you, Mr. Jerko Kabug. Now let me introduce the other supporting questions. The first question is, how much time do you spend your social media in a day? We choose this as one of our supporting questions because we want to determine how much time the students of the MSU MSAT spends on social media in a day. Second is, have you seen any changes in your behavior after spending time on social media? We also choose this as our supporting questions because we want to find out if there's any changes on the behavior of the students after spending time on social media. And lastly, the third supporting question, which is, what advice can you provide yourself to avoid this problem of behavioral change? We choose this because we want to perceive what are the advices that can be applied to avoid the behavioral change on using social media. Now, moving on to our research objectives to be discussed by Mr. Shan Hugu Gabutan.
Thank you, Ms. Leonar. The next question to be answered is, why do we conduct this study? Because we want to know what are the impact of social media platforms on the behavior of the students. If there are changes of behavior while spending time on social media, and lastly, to provide advice to avoid having behavioral change while spending time on social media platforms. We will know this information through the data of the respondents. And the next is the findings of this research and who are the people will benefit to be talked by Mr. Gabriel Kalunan.
Thank you, Mr. Gabutan. The findings of this research will benefit these following people. Students. Why? Because the students will benefit this research because they can relate directly, and this research revolves around the impact of social media platforms in the behavior of the students. And also the teachers and the parents, they can benefit in this research because they can know more about impact of social media platforms on the behavior of the students by knowing the views of the students. Next, how we will conduct this research.
Now, let me talk about how we will conduct this research. Who? The students of MSU MSAT, because they are more likely to know and understand this research, and they have already been exposed to this. When? Weekends or when the students are free to interview. Where? Since the pandemic is occurring right now, we will going to interview the students more likely through Messenger app because not all of them are allowed to have a face-to-face interview session. How? Through a video call or a direct voice message. Next is the introduction.
Introduction for the better meaning of social media platforms, a system for disseminating information over the internet to a selected group of followers. Social media platforms are used by people to publish their daily activities, comments, and photos as well as to publish information posted by others. Following is further discussion on the independent variable.
We will discuss the independent variable, which is the social media platforms individuals are increasingly using online social networking or OSN sites as a result of the rapid development of Web 2.0 technologies. OSN such as Facebook are utilized by millions of people practically every day. Individuals can use OSNs to exhibit themselves in virtual communities, communicate with their social networks, and keep in touch with others. As a result, the use of OSN has consistently attracted young individuals, particularly students. Given the popularity of OSNs and the rising number of students of various ages, several education institutions have used them to promote and engage with students. Coming up is the related studies.
Coming up is the related studies. Understanding students' behavior in online social networks. A systematic literature review by Maslim binti Masroor, Abdel Salam H. Busalim, Hassan Abu Hasna, Nick Hasnaa, Nick Mahmood. Accordingly, this study conducted a systematic literature review on student behavior and OSNs to explicate to what extent students behave on these platforms. This study reviewed 104 studies to discuss the research focus and examine strands along with the important theories and research methods utilized. Moreover, the stimulus organism response or SOR model was utilized to classify the factors that influence student behavior.
These study results demonstrated a number of studies that address students' behavior on OSNs have recently increased. Moreover, the identified studies focus on 5 research streams, including academic purpose, cyber victimization, addiction, personality issues, and knowledge sharing behavior. Most of these studies focus on the use and effect of OSNs on students' academic performance. Most importantly, the purpose of study framework provide theoretical basis for further research in this context.
Group is to convince the fact by the impact of social media platforms on the behavior of the students based on how much time they have used to spend, whether it may have a positive or negative impact. That depends on the usage and the person. And this is the end of our title defense, entitled as the impact of social media platforms on the behavior of students. And I hope that you enjoyed our video. Thank you for watching.